Hello everybody, this is Jeff, Swing Trade Warrior with warriortrading.com, back to do my watch list build for Monday here, save myself some trouble over the weekend. It's been a few days since I've been on here. It has been an absolutely crazy week. Got a new boat and the process of buying a new vehicle, and so I've been traveling all over the Northern California area trying to find a deal, test driving stuff. It's just been an absolute nightmare. But I'm back now, and hopefully will be for the foreseeable future and be able to do this more regularly in the afternoons. Looking forward to next week. This has been probably the best first quarter and second quarter, start to second quarter, that I've ever had swing trading. We've been deploying a lot more option strategies, and we found a lot more success early on in the year using those, and so we'll go over some of those in a little bit. We're coming up upon earnings season here, so we're going to talk about over the next couple days or couple weeks, I guess. We're going to talk about a lot of earnings plays. Traditionally, I like to do straddles and strangles on a lot of the more volatile movers, but those tend to have a very high, not fail rate, but a very high implied volatility, as you know. So therefore, they can be very difficult to trade profitably. They require a lot of management. So I found that it's a little bit easier, though not as profitable, but higher percentage of success to use iron condors. And so we've been using iron condors for the past couple earnings cycles, and now we're looking to do that again as we come into the second quarter here. And we're going to put on some of those trades next week. I think it all kicks off with Alcoa on Monday. Not really anything on the map next week that is of interest, but come the following couple of weeks, it's going to get pretty hectic. So we'll take a look at what the market is doing here. As always, if you guys have questions, feel free to shoot me an email, jeff@warriortrading.com. Always happy to answer any questions that I don't get to in one of these live sessions. I'm over here looking at my economic calendar, and I see that not this week, but next week is absolutely packed with earnings. So it's going to be a fun couple weeks. We're going to look to put on a ton of trades and see if we can't make any money on some of those events. As always, I will go over those analyses in my watch list. The analyses for those in my watch list send out the alerts to you guys in real time if we take any of those trades. The S&P here still have this big move up off the bottom. We haven't tested this 208 area yet. 208 on the SPY is going to be the next area of resistance that we need to get through in order to get back up toward the highs. So absent testing the 208 area, we have fallen back below 205 support. 205 was the previous resistance area from back here in late March. You can see we broke above it briefly, and now we're trading back below it. We did test the 20 EMA support area, and if that area falls, I suspect we may test the 200 area, but looking like a pretty clear pattern of continuation for what we've seen the past few months here. We have big moves up, little periods of flagging or consolidation, sideways trading, churn, whatever you want to call it, and then another leg up. And then we have another little sell-off, sideways price action, churn, accumulation, another leg up, sell-off, another leg up, sell-off. And it looks like we're having this another leg up, and we're seeing it a little bit bigger of a sell-off. And if we test support and hold it, we should break back out over this 205 area and look to test this 208 mark. So 208 is going to be to the upside here. 200 is our target to the downside. I'm not really directionally biased. I do have trades that look to capitalize on both short and long positions on any given day. Like I said, I don't have my heart set on shorting the world on Monday morning because the markets are irrational, and I've learned over the past 10, 11 years now that there is some things you just can't control, and the markets are one of them. So market wants to be long, I have options to go long. We'll look at some of those. Market wants to go short, then I have some of those too. If nothing plays out, I'll watch my scanners intraday, and I'll day trade, see what opportunities I get. There has been no shortage of trading opportunities. I don't know if you follow my my partner Ross Cameron, Day Trade Warrior. He's also got some videos here on Ticker. He has been absolutely murdering momentum trades. The small cap movers this week have been enormous. GNCA, we traded this a few times. You can see it's in a big flag pattern here. LEI, we've traded a few times after its big move up in January. It started putting up other big moves here recently. I don't know. I can't even think of all the other ones we've traded recently, but all these little stocks in the morning are trading 2-3 million shares, in the first 5-10 minutes of the day, and they have such small floats that they're churning their float 10-15 times in a day, and you just get these epic runs for 50, 60, 70 cents at a time on a $5 stock. I mean, you take a $5 stock. I mean, Jesus, take 10,000 shares if you can get filled, and you get a 50, 60, 70 cent run. It's been an unbelievable couple of weeks for momentum stuff. So Ross has been killing those, and he documents them all. He blogs about them all. So if you're interested in the small cap stuff, the scalps, the day trades, a lot of information on his channel about those. Okay, so having said all that, the S&P, like I said, needs to get over 208, or it needs to break down under 205, and it'll test the 200 area. In the meantime, like I said, we like to have ideas and opportunities to go either way in this market. So the first one that I found on my scanner was SWIR. This is Sierra Wireless Incorporated. This stock has moved up off the bottom from their February earnings, and they have put in a relatively decent 53% recovery from the lows here. And now we're looking for a move. Hang on. Now we're looking for a move back over this $15 area that I have marked out. You can see that it's clearly acting as a flat top area of resistance here. We have tested it a couple times recently. We tested this area all the way back in January and early February. This current area of resistance was a previous area of support from back in December 2015. And you've heard me say it 1,000 times now. Previous support will become future resistance, right? So previous resistance will then become future support. It works the same way. So looking at this here, a breakout over $15 is a very realistic possibility in a strong market. If we can get a push up, we'll see 1550 in a short amount of time here. Looking at the chart here, logically, that's going to be the next area up and through here somewhere. And then after that, we're looking at 16 bucks. So I know it's kind of hard to see here with the chart being as narrow as it is. Oops. I can't really. Looking at this, let's see here, what was I going to say? Looking at this here, we have 50 cent or 58 cent ATR. So we're looking at probably getting to 16 bucks over the course of 2 days. Of course, it could happen in a single day, but I don't expect it to. So we'll look for this to be about a 2 to 3 day long trade at most. And we'll definitely get long at 15. Like I said, our first target to scale will be 1550 area, and that's the previous support area here. That will act as resistance going forward. And then once again, we'll look for the 1610 area to be our next target. So SWIR is going to be on watch for a long trade come Monday morning. SGMS, Scientific Games Corp. This is a little bit more of a speculative, higher risk setup. It is not my favorite setup, but I do think that it has potential. We had this big gap up here in March following their earnings event. We had a big move up here, and now it's kind of been trading sideways, holding the EMAs between the 200 the yellow and the 50 is the white. So it's kind of pinching this area. The 20 is riding right in the middle. So the 20 is over the 50. That's still a bullish pattern, and you can obviously see off the lows here. We've put in a run of roughly 118%. It's a cheap stock, so the percentages are a bit exaggerated. But looking at this here, if we can get over this 200 mark, this is the yellow line, I think we have a good chance of getting back up to and testing the range highs following the gap, which is going to be that 1025 area. And then if we do that, we are into the gap. You can see there's a gap over here. Technically the gap goes up to about 11.5 bucks. So I'm sure I'll be happy with anything. If we get long on this stock over 950, 960, I'll be happy with anything near 1150. But certainly the first target is going to be 1025. That's going to be where we'll probably take first profit. So that's what, 70 cents profit. We'll risk 50 cents on this trade. This trade does have a 50-cent ATR, so it is a little on the slower moving side. It'll take a few days to knock out these goals here. Could happen in one day, but statistically speaking, we're looking for 50-cent moves per day. And it is fairly liquid, so we don't have to worry about it being too volatile on us, and we can take a little bit more size. At least that's my plan on this one. So it is speculative because it is not truly at a breakout spot just yet. We really need to get it over. We really need to get over this 1020 area. But if we scale into this trade, we can add at 1020, we can sell at 1020. It has already failed this area a couple times, so it gives us options. If I'm up 70 cents on this trade, I'll deal with it then. That's a good trade overall. Okay, looking at the next one, DLNG. Try that. DLNG. This is Dynagas, and it is in a big bull flag. A big week for gas. You can see, along with the news, we have massive spikes in relative volume here. This thing came out of relative obscurity, around less than 100,000 shares a day, and started trading at 700,000 shares a day for a couple days here while we put in this big flag. Trade sideways for a little bit here, and it's putting in a little resistance top around the 1150, 1160 area. Why is this particular area here at 1150, 1160 significant? And why is that going to be our entry spot? Well, because we can see that if we go all the way back here to August of 2015, to the dime, or to the penny, we can see 1155 is the low point on that day. It's a pivot area from early August, just before this thing bounced off of it and traded sideways for a while. Well, today, in the last few days, this thing has been unable to break through 1155. So obviously that's an area that holds some sort of historic significance. I just said it on the last chart. Previous support will become future resistance. So this area was support in August. It is now acting as resistance for us here at the top of our flag. This is another trade we're going to look to scale into. Okay, we're going to look to get long over the top of this little range area, this 1160 area. We'll definitely add to this trade over $12. Why am I adding at $12? Because it's only a 40-cent move. I generally like to get a little bit more out of a trade than that, and I think this has more room to the upside. So we'll add at $12 because that's going to be near the 200 moving average, which is this yellow line. It's also the high of the flag right here from the day after this big spike up. So all these things are going to be catalysts for continuation higher, and we're going to run into resistance at 1274. How do I know we're going to run into resistance at 1274, 1275? Because that area is previous support. You can see it acted as previous support right here. It was a pivot right in through here. It wasn't actually the exact area, but it was definitely an important area where the price action pivoted off of a few different times. So looking at this 1275 area is going to kind of be our target. We'll get long on this over 1160. Look to add over $12, and like I said, our target will be 1275. So that's what we're looking for on DLNG MRTX. MRTX is going to be on short watch. So like I said, we don't know what the market's going to give us on Monday. We need to have options ready to go in the event that the market throws us a curveball. Could go either way. So our short option, or our short ideas for Monday, are going to be MRTX is one, and I like this one because we do have a nice move up here off the bottom. We have put in about a 35% move over the last couple of weeks, and it failed to hold the support here at the 50 moving average because it bounced off of resistance here, just shy of the resistance here at 2480. Never actually even made it up that high, but you can see it attempted to make it there before and sold off all the way back down to 19. It tried it again, sold off all the way back down to 18. So now it's tried it again, and we blasted through the 50 EMA here. We tested the 20 EMA, I think, below this, and we're going to test this 18, 19 area again. So that's more than a couple points of room for us here. This stock, the only downside about this name is that it does trade on relatively light volume. This has 162,000 shares traded today. Now, in order for these scans to populate results, they do have a minimum volume requirement of a 5-day average of 150,000 shares or better. So therefore, we know that this trades at least 150,000 shares for the last week. It just means we can't size up as much on this particular trade, and you might have liquidity issues if you try to go too heavy. But the cool thing is there's a lot of room to the downside, so we definitely like this for that move back toward 18 here. You can see support right there, double bottom support. So we'll see what happens. That's our short watch, one of our short watches for Monday. The other one, PCRX. I've been watching this one for a couple days. It's been pinging the scanner, the reversal scanner. You can see after the low on March 17th, this thing has run 40% since March 17th, so just a little over 2 weeks now, and we have a 40% move, 9 consecutive green candles in a row. Looking at this, I smell a reversal. We are coming into overbought territory, and we are about to test a major moving average, this 200 EMA, which is now at about 62.40. You can see this yellow overlaps this white line right here. We do have a reversal indicator showing up. This is a kind of like a doji looking candle here. Basically what this tells us is that there's a lot of indecision between the buyers and the sellers, and that the stock price opened and closed in relative proximity to one another. It's not a perfect doji, but there is some indecision between who's in control here, which means that it may be getting top heavy. Buyers are skeptical because of this 9-day 40% move just under massive resistance area. And shorts are going to come in thinking that they're going to get an early start on something moving to the downside. So again, this is one of those, if the market falls apart and continues lower, this stock will probably not maintain the strength needed to break out through resistance. All these trades are just probabilities, and so that's what we're looking for in this particular setup here is one of 2 entries. I'm looking to get short on this trade if it pops up again near the highs here. And test that 200 moving average around 62.40. I'll take a starter position. Okay, that 62.40 area you can see has acted as a pivot for price action for quite a while. And then we're going to look to either add below this candle here, which is under 59.50 or so. So we'll either get short at 59.50 if it wants to come in right away first thing Monday morning. If it wants to run a little bit for a while, test this 200 moving average and then come in, I'll get short at the 200 moving average. Either way, going to look to get short on this on Monday if we get some sort of indicator that it's a good short setup, and especially if we have market cooperation. Target on this, because it does have a $3 ATR, it is a little bit of a wider mover. That means it'll move 3 points on average intraday. Based on a 14-day average, so tick range. So we're going to look for a target of $55.50 or so. Of course, we're scaling out along the way, taking profits wherever it seems logical and reasonable. But as long as this trade is trending in our favor, there's no reason to think we can't hit support here at 55.50, which is also where the 50 moving average is, this white line, which is also the support area from back here in February. And again in February. On both these days, and it was also a pivot through here, and oh look, it was also support back here in September. So obviously that 55.50 area has some sort of historical significance that will be in play if the stock starts rolling over and coming down. That'll be our target. So looking at shorting PCRX on Monday, MRTX, and our long ideas are DLNG, SGMS, and SWIR. If you guys have any questions, feel free to type them into the window. I'll give everybody a few minutes if they want to ask anything. If you guys are watching this on a recording over the weekend, you have any questions, shoot me an email, jeff@warriortrading.com. Always happy to answer any questions people might have. I'll give you guys a few minutes if anybody has any questions. If not, I'm going to go pour another glass of wine and watch some baseball. Yeah, man, we absolutely murdered it last week. What a good, it's one of the biggest weeks I've had in a long time, actually. I think so far on the year, and I don't want to jinx it, I absolutely hate talking about it, I hate bragging, but I've done really well. And I think we're about 83% success on the year so far, and 58 out of 68 trades or something like that, 58 of them have been winners. Yeah, Red Sox are tearing it up right now. At least they were. I stopped watching to finish this. Alright guys, well if there's nothing else, then I'm going to pack it up. But as you know, I'm around all weekend, so feel free to shoot me an email anytime. Once again, it is jeff@warriortrading.com. If anybody is looking for the watch list, it'll be out on Sunday evening, just prior to Monday morning. So study it. These trades will be on there, and there's no excuse for you guys not to make money too. Alright everybody, take care.